Thank you, Madam President. Speaking to the bill.
Senator has the floor.
Thank you, Madam President. A couple things have been said I think we need to make sure the record's clear about in this floor debate about this. First of all, the Electoral College now has resulted in 5 different presidents being elected who did not win the popular vote. I think most Americans and most Virginians think they live in a democracy. But when it comes to the president, they actually don't. They live in a plutocracy because the founders chose to put this Electoral College system in between the voters and the election of a president. And I want to remind everybody, partly what motivated that at the time, not only was it a distrust of voters, not only was it a distrust of the masses, and by the way, I would just note that at the time the Electoral College got put in place, most of the people sitting in this chamber probably wouldn't even be able to vote. Because if you weren't male and you didn't own 25 acres, you didn't have a vote when this thing got invented. Number one. Number two, I just want to remind everybody that the other reason this got put in our Constitution was because at the time the Constitution was written, about a third of the people who lived in the South weren't considered humans. And at the time, when they wrote the Constitution, they put language in the Constitution that said that African Americans only counted as 3/5 of a person. 8 out of the 40 people in this room right now sit on this floor. And because of that language, it actually augmented the size of the congressional delegation of the South by about 42%. The only reason they agreed to the Constitution, including this state, by the way, is because of that language in the Constitution. And guess what that translated to when it comes to president? It translated into presidential power. The origins of the Electoral College, my friends, was to basically augment the power of the South because of slaves, in addition to making sure the people didn't have a vote. That was the origin of this system. Today, I would just remind the body that 5 of the 6 states whose population is 25% or more black vote reliably Republican. And so you know what? Those votes don't get counted either. And also just note that because of this system, 3/4 of America doesn't ever see a presidential candidate in their state because there's absolutely zero incentive to. So, Madam President, I would just say to the body, the Electoral College is not something we all should be lauding and patting ourselves in the back and saying what a wonderful thing it is. It has arrogant, aristocratic, and racist origins. And its consequences continue to play itself out today. And this is an attempt to try to mitigate the effects of that because amending the Constitution in this regard is probably pretty much impossible. I would hope we'd pass this.